Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Brick shots with Billy Antonio. For 50 more bricks. Ballin' like a with all these bricks.
Hey, welcome in everybody. Another episode of Brick Shots U. Quick reminder to follow us on our socials. It will soon be Brick Shots U everywhere. We're working on that behind the scenes. Until then, on YouTube, it's Brick Shots with Billy Antonio. Instagram, we got a new one. It will be Brick Shots U, and Facebook is Brick Shots U as well. We're working on the YouTube. What we're covering this week will be the NFL matchups of the week that has just passed and the week that is coming, including the Chiefs winning again. Are the Jets awful? Are the Steelers convincing? We'll cover the matchup between the two most hyped rookies of the year in Caleb and Jaden. We'll also cover the big trade that broke just yesterday with DeAndre Hopkins going to Kansas City. It'll be yesterday as you hear this. We'll take it to college, cover Texas losing in Austin, Alabama losing again. We'll cover next week's big matchups of LSU versus Texas A&M as well as Mizzou versus Alabama. We will cover the historic NBA opening night, but first, rest in peace Fernando Valenzuela. And second, is Lamar going to win his third MVP award this year? Billy, that's your team. That's your quarterback. My quarterback, man.
That's my quarterback.
Tell us about Lamar and your Ravens.
Well, I'm sure you guys watched Monday night at least a little bit. I did watch well into the fourth quarter when we were up by 4 scores. The way Lamar Jackson is playing is he's, again, I still think trying to show everybody like, hey, I'm not just a running quarterback. I can throw this fucking rock too. But where the haters keep saying, well, he's only throwing it 25 times, da-da-da-da. Well, when you're up by fucking 50, what do you want him to do? I don't know if you guys are on the same page as me as how historic his season is becoming. His numbers already are better by a long shot throughout where he's at now than they were last year when he won MVP. Is there anybody close? Maybe a Derrick Henry who could win the MVP this year right now? Who else are we thinking? If there is anybody.
Goff has a dark horse chance, I think, with just how efficient he's been.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Josh Allen, just because of how everybody likes him and he's yet to throw a turnover. But I don't think he's doing as good as Lamar. But I don't know if it's an issue in the NFL so much as it is in the NBA, where it seems like in the NBA there's major voter fatigue. Like that's why LeBron doesn't have 12 MVPs. That's why Jordan only had 6. That's why Jokic didn't win 3 or 4 straight, and they gave one to Embiid despite Jokic having the better numbers. Like I don't know if that's true in the NFL, but if it's not true, then Lamar is going to win the MVP because as of now, his numbers are head and shoulders above everybody else.
And then let me just pull up one stat. I know it's hard for the readers to see, but we're going to be working on it, so I'm going to get used to pulling them up. So if you look at this, 5 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. How many times Lamar's done this? Yes.
I just go and load it into that present thing I just showed you.
Yeah, that's going to take too long now because I got to do slides and video files. It's not in my video files.
Oh, all right.
Because it's just a picture. But so Lamar has thrown for 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions 5 times. Only people above him is Tom Brady and Drew Brees, both with 8, and Lamar has done that in under 100 games, where it took Aaron Rodgers 231, Peyton Manning 265, and Ben Roethlisberger 247. So that being a precedent, I think shows you just how kind of crazy this shit is going for Lamar this year.
I don't think that's the craziest thing, Billy. You're missing like the absolute craziest thing.
What's that?
The craziest thing is Lamar's doing this where on any given Sunday, his best wide receiver is a tight end. That's the most impressive thing about all of this. Not to shit on y'all right there, but
that's okay.
I ain't lying. Isaiah Likely could be y'all best receiver any given game, as we seen in the first game where he went off. So It ain't like that ain't true or it ain't some facts to that. So I don't think that what you saying is impressive, but not having that number one receiver there, like a CD, a Jay Jettis, a fucking Tyreek, a fucking Chase. You don't got none of that. You don't got none of that. On a game where shit, like I seen this dude talk about Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers can have back-to-back 100-yard receiving games, but then you put him on your parlay and he just like, yeah, I don't want to play this Sunday. And it's like, all right, so you ain't consistent like that. So that I think for me, that's the most important thing. And I ain't just saying they dog shit, but the wide receiver core drops a lot of passes, like a lot of touchdowns. It's touchdowns out there. All right, I mean, I know you will, Chris, but it's a lot of touchdowns that Lamar should have that because of no fault to him was left on the table because we just can't catch. And that's crazy for him to still be having this impressive of a run,
right?
But with shaky receivers. That's as a quarterback, like the main thing you want to have, because I mean, of course, you can hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. That's a luxury for sure. But like you said, if we ain't ahead, then I'm gonna have to throw this bitch sometimes. So I need you to catch it. And I'm gonna say a good y'all catching it maybe right now 6 out of 10 times. And that ain't that good, Billy. That ain't that good because most of the times them throws are like dead in the hands. It ain't, it's a little contest there, but NFL wide receiver, some touching your hands, like we hear is like, Chris, when you first started playing football, what the coaches tell receivers? If it touches your what?
If it touch your hands, you catch it.
All right, Billy. Well, if I'm making millions of dollars and all I gotta do is catch something that touch my hands, like I ain't gotta go get it, because a lot of these passes coming like right here, and it's just like.
I will say for Lamar too. Let me defend some of our receivers also. Lamar does have
no.
Yes,
we gotta stop. We gotta stop that. We gotta stop that, bro. As a person who's
you can't criticize him at all.
I mean, you can, but
let me do it real quick. There's a lot of deep throws.
It's a lot of. It's been like 5 consecutive years where his main receiver, now it's going to Zay, is Rashad Bateman, or Bateman drops more passes this year, but Zay drops a lot of shit. But then when he had Hollywood was wide open on a lot of shit. I don't care what you deep a lot because he's faster than everybody.
Yeah,
deep passes, and you finna criticize on some of his deeper throws. Well, you can't overthrow a motherfucker who can outrun everything. How many times
Billy tell me do that Sunday with Worthy?
Pat different.
Well, let's get into 1-2. The Steelers looking great to stay in the division of the AFC North. Did they fix it by putting Russ in?
I don't think so. I think he just had a good.
I think their offense has more potential with Russell, but I think Justin's going to lead them to be more consistent.
5 touchdowns isn't a lot, but 1 interception is also not a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
But Tonio, while we were talking about Lamar throwing it downfield, I think watching the Steelers, Russ wasn't scared to throw it downfield, whereas I feel Justin was a little more timid to get it down.
Russ has never been scared to throw that bitch down the field.
Well, it's the thing, Billy. You hearing outside rumors and inside rumors. Hey, one slip up, Russ coming in. So ain't you gonna be timid too? Like you ain't you're not out there playing freely. Why you think he only got 1 pick? Bro, scared. Like, hey, I can't fuck up. So I ain't going deep. If it look contested, I'm taking that safe throwaway route.
Yeah.
I mean, in
I think that's just how the game was called, though. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily on Justin.
Also that, like, how are they taking the training wheels off to see what he can do? Like, because Billy, you can't tell me. I mean, you might can, but on play actions right now, I'm 100 times over 100 taking Justin Fields over Russell Wilson. And I ain't talking about to pass it to make the pass. I'm saying like, oh, that shit covered, bail out.
Yeah.
I'm taking Justin Fields. What did you say, Chris? Last year, Justin Fields was like second best running back in the league. That's what you called him last year when he was in Chicago. Like, hey, Billy, that ain't no that ain't no easy title. And the running backs are back, but I still got Justin Fields. Justin Fields still the second fastest quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Let me make
But
sure.
he's not making half of those Lamar can make.
No, I ain't saying that. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm not comparing him to anybody. I'm just saying with his situation there, like them not opening up the playbook for him, because Chris probably onto something. Like, hey, let's put Justin in predicaments where he can't mess up. But you can't see what he was about, and you can't judge off of what was going on in
he's got
Chicago.
4 or 5 years in the league. Like, you can see what kind of throws he can and can't make.
And you can't go off, well, he was doing this in Chicago, because nobody in Chicago was doing anything. Like, they dog shit offensive line for sometimes. Sometimes he was holding it, but he didn't have what Buddy got over there now. He got an all-star studded lineup for him. So I don't know. I still think Russ finds a way to corny his way out of starting, because he's just a corny dude. He can't help it. But the Steelers, Billy, you pulled a Chris, and you said last year in the show, and I ain't pull it up, but you was like, Chris was asking you for the future, who you think was gonna be good, and you was like, well, fuck, now that they got Russ, the Steelers might be the best in the AFC. And well, look who's knocking on the door, Billy. And Matt and Chris said last year, shout out to Matt. He said last year,
saying like Kenny they just Pickett, need a little bit extra,
a little bit of a quarterback. He said if Kenny Pickett could complete 10 passes, they win games. Well, Kenny couldn't complete but 6, but they still won 8 games. So now they completing passes. So the Steelers looking kind of scary, Billy, because that defense was always gonna rock. They was always gonna rock, bro. So I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, because let's just say you want to fucking 1-2 punch it down the rest of the year. Well, now you got 2 healthy people, because both of them ain't playing all the time. Now you're gonna have, I guess, the wide receivers is happy to be there, and they got a thug in George Pickens, so he don't give a fuck as long as they get him the ball. So I don't know, Billy. The Steelers might be that nightmare that you conjured up to play your Ravens.
They need some help in the red zone, though, for sure. I think that's where Fields needs to see some playing time, because I think between the 20s, like Russell got it between the 20s, he can move them down the field. But it seemed like he was, I don't know, just without giving it a good description, it just seemed like he wasn't that good in the red zone compared to how he played the rest of the game.
Well, he did. So the spacing too. The Jets do play, like, you can say what you want about the Jets. We'll get into them in a second, but the way they were playing was just kind of, you're going to have to do a contested. You're going to have to, someone's going to get lit up. And I think Russ was just very aware of how that was going to be. And I think having Justin Fields in kind of gives you like, okay, well, we got to kind of pack that middle just in case he runs. Whereas Russ looked scared to run. Like, he looked like he didn't want a single part of running.
So, and I feel like with Justin Fields down there, you put in, if you don't want to go in all game, give him some Taysom Hill packages, bro. Like,
right,
we in the red zone. We in the red zone. Your first option is run. You see somebody wide open, sling that hoe. But your first option is run. If they don't, because let's just say we go 4 wide like the Saints used to do with Taysom Hill, or 5 wide with Taysom Hill back there. Well, now you got a linebacker probably matched up on George Pickens. That's a mismatch. And then you got Justin Fields' feet. So it's like, who do I leave on the island? Who do I send on the blitz? It's confusing, right? It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot you got to do for that. So I'm with Chris. Maybe put in a Taysom Hill package. Shout out to Sean Payton's illegitimate son, Taysom Hill. Getting paid. But
also, shout out to Sean Payton for beating the fucking brakes off his old team.
That Thursday night. It's funny too when Brea asked me, she's like, well, isn't it Thursday? Isn't there a game to watch? And I was like, it's the Saints Broncos.
Not really.
Oh shit. So she's like, let's turn it on. We turn it on. Oh, this would have been a waste of time to watch anyway. Thank God. I do hate when I watch the game and I'm like, fuck, this would have been good to watch. But so let's go to some more. Lions Vikings, that dog fight for the NFC North. We were just talking about the AFC North. Lions were down. I wish Matt was here to kind of defend his team a little more. The Lions were down 11 points 2 different times in that game, and they still came back and win. And that's the mantra of a very great team, Tonio, right?
Well, I've been saying it to Matt. What's his coach name? I just forgot. I just went blank. Dan Campbell is a coach you run through a fucking brick wall for, Billy. Like he just is. So if my coach don't give up on me, why the fuck am I gonna give up on him? I don't care if we down 20. We gonna win this shit. If he's still saying we gonna win it, I believe him. And that's you looking at a team that's done bought in, Billy. Dan Campbell don't got no regrets from last year, making them calls, going forward, all that shit. He don't, and the team see like, hey, he believed in us, so let's give him what he want, and that shit working out for him. That's kind of scary too, because like, they got a 2-headed monster, David Montgomery, Gibb. That's scary.
Even when Montgomery went out, Gibbs was like, I got it. No fucking problem. Sitting on my bench. Whatever. No big deal.
Yeah. And then, like Chris said, Jared Goff, surprisingly enough, is looking like a dark horse for, hey, I could be an MVP. He not looking bad, Billy. So the Lions are I ain't gonna say back because they ain't never been here, but the Lions are building. They're turning into one of them teams where every Sunday that they lined up, you got to respect them now. You can't just be like, oh, it's the Lions, because it's not the Lions of old. This is a team that
group. Well, that offensive line is scary. Like that.
And even without, you kind of tell, like without Hutch, they not really getting. But then they start mixing up blitzes, and they did start getting pressure. And it's like, once they realize, like, yeah, we miss Hutch, but we got to win for him too. It was just like, all right, bro, this is gonna be for whatever NFC team matches up against them in the playoffs. They shouldn't be like, oh, we got this, because it ain't gonna be no easy game. And I'm really trying to figure out. Chris, who will play them in the NFC Championship game? Do you think it's the Vikings again, or is that even possible?
I was interested in this too, because I was gonna say it might be a bit of a hot take, but I think the Lions gonna represent the NFC, and then I got to looking at the NFC, and boy, shit down this year, man. It's way down. Like 49ers are just destroyed with injuries, so they're not in it. Like the NFC South is full of bums. It's the Commanders, but do we really think a rookie quarterback's gonna? I think he would be the first rookie since Ben Roethlisberger to take a team to the Super Bowl. And as good as Jaden is, I don't know if that team's ready to be a Super Bowl team just yet after, being garbage for the last decade or two.
Then I don't know, Chris. Maybe
NFC North
maybe Jaden like, shot just won the Heisman, bro. Let me go in here. I'm gonna win Rookie of the Year, and fuck it, let's break some records. Maybe that's how he feeling. I mean, LSU was getting their ass whooped, and he just came in and reversed it for Washington. But I don't. That's highly unlikely. Now he might. I ain't gonna say he might, but Washington don't look too bad, and I think they beat the hell out of the Bears. We'll talk about that later. But the Eagles ain't too sure of themselves. You got coaches cussing out the fans.
Eagles make too many mistakes. Their clock management is fucking awful, and Jalen turns the ball over way too much the last couple of years.
So I don't know. And I'm still like, I know it's the lineman in me, but I still think that brand new center shit, that shit just ain't, it's hard, bro. Like going from Jason Kelsey to whoever the fuck that guy is just like,
because if you remember too, Jason Kelsey said he has a weird way of snapping the ball. And for you to learn that, and now you're back to learning the regular one, I could see a lot. But how long, Tony, are you going to give him that excuse? The rest of the year? Week 10? When do you – after the bye, maybe?
Well, Billy, like I said, I play center. Changing quarterbacks, I would have to I would have to snap it different ways. So that shit's not easy because it ain't just on Jalen. It's on that center. Because that center like he not a rookie, is he?
No, but he's played guard a lot.
And there's another thing, Billy. Going from guard, center is a hard position, probably the hardest position on the line, other than outside from being a tackle, just because it's so much more responsibility on you. Of course, the tackle's protecting the quarterback's blind side, but the center got to be the second smartest person on the offensive field, if that makes sense. Like right behind fucking Peyton. Jeff had to know everything. And if Peyton missed some, there's the mic. That ain't the mic. He got to point that shit out. Like, it's some shit. But because everybody like, he just got to get the ball to him. Well, it ain't. Because you got to let your line know, like, they finna stunt right here. So you need to pick this up or you tap them or whatever they codes is. So it's a lot. And if I'm coming from guard, Billy, that's a whole different ball game. Because my whole career now, I'm used to pulling and moving freely. But now you got to remember you got the ball. So that shit is like, that shit, you got to be really good at center. And I know I don't think he's ass, but you got to be really good at center. And it's easier when you've been playing it because that timing within yourself, you know some shit. Like, especially when you in the shotgun, that shit is different, Billy, because you like right here and you got to get that shit up fast as fuck. And you only got that one hand. So you got to be strong enough to have that one hand leverage until you can get rid of the ball securely. Like, you can't just throw it back there and be like, because that's stupid. So you got to be right here first. Like, hike one hand right here. I got to at least jam you, and then now I can block or engage. So that's cheap as fuck on the Eagles. I know they went and addressed a lot of issues, but and then, like I said, I don't think this dude is ass, but me learning a new position while my quarterback learning a new center, and I'm just not learning how to do this to be comfortable with myself. Because you gotta think, Billy, it ain't gay, but some dude putting their hands under your nuts ain't just like the easiest thing for you to just be used to. And especially if he putting that shit under there aggressively, you just like, all right, man, it's still my nuts. So yeah, it's like a lot of factors in there that people don't think about because they just like, you just gotta get the quarterback the ball, but it's way more. So I don't know how long it takes. When I moved from tight end to center, Billy, I wasn't good at that shit. I was just bigger than everybody. So hey man, you want to play center? You fast, you do whatever we need to get to the second level. It's gonna help us win. All right, bet I'll do it. Yep. So it took me a while though.
So not to cut you guys off. Now, the Packers-Houston game, did anybody watch? Did y'all watch that? That was the Romo game, so I definitely paid attention.
A little bit.
So C.J. Stroud had 88 yards on 10 completions, and the Texans barely lost the game. Does that speak to how good the Texans are, or does that show you how great the Packers can be or are?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It could also mean that the Packers kind of ass and CJ had an off game. Because if I have an off game, if my quarterback only got 88 yards and we barely beat them, it might show like, hey, we got to get a little bit better. Even though they're a good team, like we held CJ to 88 yards. You hold a quarterback under 100 yards. I'm looking for my team to beat them.
Usually we're going to crush a quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think DJ's earned himself an excuse for this one.
Yeah, for sure. Like CJ Stroud, shout out to Dre, shout out to Darian, my boys out there in Houston. CJ Stroud definitely didn't have that slump everybody thought he was gonna have. He just had a game, bro. We ain't seen it. Hell, we seen it with the greats. Tom ain't never had no game like this, but Peyton have. For sure. For sure. So I think it's a testament to both sides, like Chris said, though.
I do think let me go to Chris too real fast. Jordan Love having 3 turnovers. Do we think that's a cause for concern, or are we ready to just kind of be like, again, has he earned himself? Like, hey, he was just taking some chances. What were we doing with that, Chris?
Chris I shit on Jordan Love when he first came into the league, started playing last year, and then he made me change my tune. I'm not ready to throw everything out with him. I think it's similar to CJ Stroud, where you can have, if you're a solid player, you ain't gonna be solid all the time. You're gonna have some bad games. Like that's just that is what it is. And to get on Tonio's point, even the great Tom Brady had 9 games where he didn't throw for 100 yards. So
I'm glad you looked that up quickly. That was good. Let's talk.
I don't want to crush Love. I think he'll be all right. I think it's just a bad game for both quarterbacks.
That's fair.
And to Christian, he's not calling Jordan Love Brady. All right, let's get that out of there. I know Christian's gonna be like, he called him Brady.
Hey, so the Packers' white uniforms were sick as fuck. Am I tripping? Dude, the white helmet, bro. I don't know what it is about the white helmets. It's like a white helmet or a black helmet when your colors aren't white or black, right? I think are just fucking so sick.
Because they just stand out way more.
Yeah. Oh, dude. It looked sleek. It looked clean. Like, maybe a little bit of snow on the ground would have just been like a Italian kiss, right? Just oh man. But then let's talk. Now we can talk Mahomes playing like shit, but just undefeated. How much are we? Let me ask it the right way. What do we do to stop the Chiefs? Because it seems like it's not Patrick Mahomes, and he's getting every excuse in the book. It's been week by week by week we've been giving him excuses, and he's obviously earned that with 2 fucking Super Bowl rings.
So you gave me permission in the group chat. So it's 2 ways you can stop the Chiefs. 1, kill Andy Reid. That's what you gotta do. You gotta get Andy Reid the fuck out of here because it's him. It ain't the Chiefs. It's Andy Reid. It's just a genius. Hey Pat, you playing like ass, but we just gonna toss this to him and then he's just gonna break out and we'll score. It don't matter. And then number 2, get rid of the refs. You gotta. Hey Billy, you gotta call a spade, man. I know Chris love Pat, but Pat get a lot of calls, bro. Like Pat the new Brady for real. When it come to calls, but I don't think Tom got it to this extent where interceptions are getting called back. I ain't never seen no shit like that since Saturday. But we'll talk about that later. Hey man, it was a stat out there about the Chiefs getting saved like 26 times or something by calls and saved on like interceptions or turnovers. And I just want to say, Billy, that's a lot of fucking times to just be like, that wasn't it.
If we go into that stat, the second highest one is I think the Lions getting quote unquote saved. With only like 7, it might be 9. And it's I know the disparity in that is this isn't a
like I said,
we gotta hold them accountable at the same time.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna bash them. I just say, hey, come on, man. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm bashing when we get to college. I can't hold it. But I just think
that's where we're gonna wait.
I can't. I don't know, Billy. They just fucking good. That's the reality. They just fucking good. Being the star quarterback NFL playing like ass, team still winning. Don't let them fucking turn it around and start playing well. That shit just gonna be more blowouts. It's gonna be back to blowing people out. It's like fucking Steph Curry, bro. Like,
well, let's talk about they still Patrick Mahomes played like asshole and they won by double digits against the Niners. Now
he's played like shit all season.
Yeah, he don't look good, dude.
6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the year. Lamar had that Sunday.
Yeah. Pat not the fucking Pat ain't a top 5 quarterback this year. If we being fair. Like if we go out wins, he the number 1 quarterback. He undefeated. But if we go off just like play alone, Pat might be on the outside of top 10 looking in. If we going out,
I think you touched on it with the Brady comparison though. Like Brady wasn't always great quarters 1 through 3, but you knew in the 4th quarter if he got the ball, your ass was cooked.
That's what I'm saying. So
like
I think
Mahomes is doing this year.
I think Billy, he's just looking for the defense is playing well enough to give him one moment and one moment only. And every time he got the perfect play caller over there on the sideline, and the plays work exactly how I think, excuse me, I can't take away from Pat greatness. I don't fuck with the Mahomes at all, but I think that along with Pat's greatness, you just gotta talk about Andy Reid's genius, bro. Like that shit is the only coach that I can see rivaling his offensive mind right now is doing interviews, and that's Belichick's defensive mind. That's the only person I think I would love to see them in like a chess match, like but on the field with even teams to see like what the fuck they would do against each other, because I just think that's how elite Andy Reid's offensive mind is. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's defensive coaches in the league right now, but I just don't know if it's one up to the caliber to be like, yeah, Andy Reid ain't no problem. He easy to figure out. Or one is like, yeah, I'm ready for this shit. Am I tripping, Chris?
They haven't done it yet.
Yeah, we could lie and say they have. They've met in the Super Bowl, and they met in the AFC title game with Mahomes and Brady.
No. I'm just saying.
And Bill won both times.
We didn't meet them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Brady was in.
Was the Philadelphia.
Brady was in. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But I'm talking about. I'm talking about Pat.
While we're in the show, I'm going to make that reel and talk about it. I will kind of clarify, because that's not going to be part of the reel, so we can clarify it with the reel. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm talking about like Pat with Andy Reid, not just him by himself. Because the AFC Championship, yeah, we seen it, but I'm talking about, like Super Bowl, big game, something like that. But they would never.
Oh, big time. Okay.
But I guess the AFC is the second biggest game you can get to, or tied for second with the NFC Championship.
Yeah. I do want to say there was a lot of comparisons before we get to college too, with Shador and Patrick Mahomes, with kind of how I think too Shador is not athletic. Real quick,
you got to say it right, Billy.
Yeah, and Billy, we gotta say this with college. We do, because I want to speak on that athletic Shador too. But we gotta say we gotta end it with are we in the NFL?
No. We got two things to go.
Okay, all right.
Next week's matchups. We got D Hop and the rookies.
Yeah. Well, no. And then we got Vikings Rams. And y'all want to knock out? Hey, let's go. Let's go to the. While we're on the Chiefs, fuck it. We'll do the D Hop thing. Does that make the Chiefs inherently better? Or is D Hop cooked?
It's just like Chris said. It's just like Chris said, bro. We got to see, because like I said, when who went to the Bills? What was his name? Went to the Bills. Amari Cooper looked great with the Bills. He was like, "Oh shit, I'm out of Cleveland. Shackles off of me." I also feel like that a lot of people don't
Cleveland to Buffalo though is the how much better is that?
Well, you get
he's going from Deshaun to Josh. I think he's happy about that.
A top 5 quarterback, to Chris.
Only starting quarterback that ain't thrown an interception yet this year.
But he is better than Deshaun. He is better than Deshaun. So that's the same thing, Billy. I don't think a lot of people
under 50% completion. Yeah, who cares? He didn't throw a pick though.
I what's your name, Billy? I do think that people don't acknowledge that Tennessee is a wide receiver graveyard. Like, that's where wide receivers go to fucking die. We seen wide receivers go there and just be
Julio Jones, AJ Brown,
Randy. Like, it's just, hey, I'm out of fucking Tennessee. Let me see what this Kansas City barbecue looking like. And we just out here going for 2 tugs and 130 first game. So I don't know. If I think he still, because he still trained like a monster. So
yeah,
he just had Will Levis. I don't know any wide receiver that will make Will Levis look good. Oh, so yeah, going from Will Levis to Matt to Pat Mahomes, yeah, I might look like I'm a top 5 receiver in the league again. That's what it is. And I got Worthy on the other side, so now you got to figure out who you going one-on-one. And if I get one-on-ones, I'm pretty sure I'm still out jumping 87% of the corners in the league.
100%. So, all right, let's go to a we're gonna preface this segment saying Jalen being healthy and playing against the Bears next week. Caleb Williams, you got your number 1, number 2 overall picks playing together. Despite what Tonio's gonna say, Caleb Williams is playing great. Jaden Daniels is playing top tier quarterback play. Who are we taking?
We taking the quarterback who beat teams other than the worst teams in the league, and we saying they look great because they beat the worst 2 teams back to back. So I'm gonna take Jay. Caleb Williams is playing great. He played the Raiders and the fucking Panthers, and he looked great. Oh, okay.
Raiders beat the Ravens. Lamar didn't look good against the Raiders.
Was it the Raiders? Oh,
yep.
It was the Panthers and who? The Raiders? Yeah. They look ass.
And the Patriots.
Oh yeah, he beat us for sure.
And the Jaguars.
I do think this is a funny narrative that Tony was trying to push when 4 of the 5 wins that Washington has is against Carolina, Cleveland, Arizona, and the Giants.
Shit, Cleveland ain't ass. They just ass. They not Panthers ass or Jaguars ass.
But Chris, you can't say that because he played well against the Ravens in that loss. He played well against the Bengals, and I think he beat the Bengals.
Yeah, he did. That was their other win.
But I think that's Tonio's point is Caleb Williams isn't playing good until it's the shitty teams. You can talk about wins. That's an argument. But I'm on your side. He's acting like Caleb Williams is still just a bum. If he was a bum, he would be just losing these games. But he's not. He's playing better. I think he's starting.
And that defense is looking better and better every week. Ain't nothing to do with Caleb. He ain't winning it. You say he's winning these games. You just said he winning the games. It ain't him. It's that defense. Stop it.
Hold on.
Chris, I'm tripping.
What?
I think the Redskins will win just because I think they're the better team. But I don't. Sure. I'm not gonna say that it's purely the defense. Like Caleb's playing well the last few weeks.
Let me just go and trip you up then. Right now, rookie of the year, you going Caleb or Jaden?
Yeah, it's Jaden easily.
I just don't. And honestly, Caleb might be the 5th rookie of the year right now. Because Malik looked good as hell. Brock Bowers looked good as fuck on a sorry team. Who else they had? They had somebody else. I can't remember their name. And I ain't hating. He just the number 1 ain't looked all that spectacular.
He started out rough the first few weeks, but he's come on the last probably 3 weeks.
But so Tonio, you're taking Jaden Daniels. What if he doesn't play? Are you still taking the Redskins?
They still got that.
Damn good. Mariota looked real good. But again,
I'm still taking them. Washington.
Okay, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I got the Redskins.
Okay, I'll ride with the Bears. I think Caleb shows us again one more time and plays a great game.
You want to put some Fago on it?
Huh?
You want to put some Fago on it? You want to put a case on it?
No, I'm not that convicted with it. But
Tonio, what are you going to need to see from Caleb if, say, the Bears win? What do you need to see from Caleb to give him credit for the victory?
I just don't. I want him to mature from that USC Caleb to NFL Caleb. He's still doing like a lot of college shit that he's not getting away with it. And we ain't seeing that over there in Washington. We seeing Jalen understand like, oh, these motherfuckers fast too. Oh, I need to do this right here. Caleb not so much doing that because he's still getting sacked. He's still running into sacks. He's still doing like shit that college shit that you gotta
like you're
mature
not
into
that much better than these guys, dude. Regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah, you gotta like, and I like I said, I don't think he's sorry. I just be trolling Christian, but I think like this is a lot of shit that we seeing.
Whereas like
or Billy got me calling this dude Jalen. We seeing Jaden do a lot more mature quarterbacking. I'll say that he's mature quarterbacking, even though he's a rookie too. I don't think Caleb is ass. I know some people say I don't troll the right way because it'd be believable, but I don't think Caleb's ass. I just think that Jaden is playing more mature and leading Washington more maturely than Caleb. And I ain't calling him immature either. For everybody, I'm just saying it's the play, it's the mannerisms that Jaden got down already.
All right, let's get into the real quick, you guys. So LA Rams and the Vikings, Thursday night football. What are we looking for this matchup? Cooper Kupp's back, I think.
I just think it.
Help.
Yeah. I don't think it. I think the Rams get slaughtered. Even though my cousin on the team, shout out to Bobby, but I think the Vikings gonna be like, fuck, everybody gonna think we not who we was after this Lions loss. We gotta show them, we still really good. And I think that they come out swinging fast. And Cooper Kupp gonna be back, but it's just like we seen Shiloh, bro, with that game against Kansas State. That rush, you still like going from practice to game time and trying to go full speed. Sometimes you can, but in the league like that, yeah, it's gonna be hard. And how we know he like 100%? Like, what if he get that Vikings defense ain't ass? So if you get jammed up, you get hit the wrong way, then it's like, oh damn, fuck me. How we get him started to know if he could take a hit, like a real full contact hit? So it's a lot of what ifs for the Rams over there.
Chris,
I think for me, I'm looking at it like I try to look at like what do teams do well versus each other and how do those things balance out. I did this last week with the Vikings and the Lions, and you can insert that Shaq meme where it's, I'm sorry I wasn't familiar with your game, because Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff can definitely play against the blitz. This isn't the Jared Goff of old. It's the Jared Goff of new. I do think with the Rams, they still have really bad O-line play. And Goff is about as mobile as a statue at this point in his career, and he was never particularly mobile to begin with.
Yep.
As good as Stafford is, I think he's going to be running for his life the majority of the game. I just don't think the Rams got enough on that front. They got enough on the outsides, even with Cooper being back, to be able to put up much of a challenge to the Vikings. And then the Vikings too, I think coming off that close divisional game, they're going to want to show that, we really are that 6-0 team that we were the first month and a half of the year, and this loss was just kind of a fluke. I think the Vikings will roll them. I think it'll be a blowout, really a 2-possession game.
Okay, Bingo. I'm with you. I think the way the Vikings run all those blitzes, they blitz their ass off. I think Stafford's smart enough, been in the league long enough, seen enough blitzes to where he might pick them apart. I got the Rams in a very, very close game this Thursday night. But Tonio, we've been hitting at it all night. College, we saw, I think, a step below a beatdown, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, of Georgia just kind of letting Texas have it, showing them what the SEC is like, even though it was in Austin. Let's talk about the matchup before we get into that call.
It kind of reminded me of when Alabama went into Texas and did that to Colt McCoy.
I think that long ago. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me, because we ain't really seen Texas back since then. I think that kind of ended.
You don't count that Alabama win last year as anything? That was a one-off, you think?
They beat Texas last year? Or are you talking about when Texas beat? I told you, man, I hate to be like that politic guy or that, hey, this is a money game thing, but just think about it, Billy. I feel like they was like, Nick, we got you. You're gonna be straight. You can stay at Alabama. We're gonna get you this job. You're gonna be on game day. You're gonna be able to do whatever the fuck you want to. Let Texas beat y'all. I really feel like it, Billy, because think about it. Think about how many millions of dollars that Chris tell me if I'm wrong, but think about how many millions of dollars Texas alone brought to the SEC. Texas alone, Billy, along with a network. Yep. So now you gotta think like now the SEC tapped into the Texas network. I bet Chris can watch that shit on the if he got cable, he can watch it on a regular cable channel out there. That's all you ain't gonna tell me. That's why they were so cool with this NIL deal, Billy, because they paying our money, but it ain't nearly as much money as they recouping for that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, let's let them come in and let's let them win because they ain't beat the shit out of Alabama. They beat them, but they ain't beat the shit out of Alabama. And let's let them come in. Let's make them number one. Let's give them an easy SEC schedule at first, and then let's just shock them right. Yeah, let's just shock them right in the middle of the season. And if they win, shit, we just got our money full return. If they lose, welcome to the SEC. Even though Sark been in the SEC, so I don't think Sark prepared them boys like he should have. And Sark ain't like DeBoer.
Let me disagree with you for a second. I think Sark was like, hey, this is not Oklahoma State. This is not Kansas. This is not what we're doing. You've seen him look a little stoic, but I think, like you said with Dan Campbell, I'd run through a wall for you. I'm not saying Sark isn't that coach, but I don't think he's that type of coach to where the Longhorns believed. I think they were just buying into their own hype, being number one in the country for the first time since 2005. I think that's a big deal.
Billy, Sark didn't prep them boys. Sark done seen Kirby too many times not to know what Kirby was going to bring to the table. I told you in last week's show, I called it, Billy. I said, hey, that Georgia defense is going to make the difference. They going to come out. They going to show Texas, hey, I don't give a fuck how many points you put up. I'm Georgia. And who won the game for Georgia? The defense. Because Carson Beck, the number one quarterback that people was talking about taking in the draft, he looked like ass. So that defense, just like I call it, the defensive end, number 13, Chris, can you Google his name for Georgia?
Michael Williams. I think
so. I just didn't want to get it wrong, but he was on Quinn Ewers' ass all night. Running back.
Sorry, John.
Nah, put it back up. Put John back up.
Fuck. What?
Shout out to you, John. I see who you repping, bro. I was
been there before the Natties, okay?
Yeah. So I just think, Billy, I get it. Texas, I don't think Texas is sorry by any means. I don't think that they should fall out of the playoffs. I think they are exciting to watch. I know what they bring to the game. People want to see Arch. They want to see what Texas can do. But I do think that, hey, when everybody was like, oh, Texas is going to run the SEC, well, they got to play the SEC to run them. And I think it's some more SEC teams that's not on their schedule that'll give Texas some problems. I just don't.
LSU?
Who? LSU.
A&M?
I think A&M. I know you probably think we lost some games, but I think Ole Miss would give them some problems.
No, I'm with you.
I think that
Alabama would be
when they. I think they gotta when they play. I want to say they play fucking Vandy this Saturday. I don't think they could take Vandy lightly anymore. Because like I told you, them smart kids got money too. They parents work at all these tech companies and they get money out there in Vandy. I don't even think, Billy, as a matter of fact, for the rest of their schedule, I know it's the easier side of the SEC, but Florida hasn't looked as terrible as we thought they were gonna look. Actually, the only coach should be worried about, huh?
I was just about to say you said coach, but I cut you off too fast. Sorry.
Yeah, the only coach we should. Damn, Billy, let me talk.
Sorry.
The only coach in Florida that we should be worried about packing their bags is right down the road. Not in Gainesville though, down there at Florida State. Billy Napier probably got him another 2 years just because of how they could have looked really terrible, but they haven't. They've been in games that they probably should have won. Actually,
Tennessee game, he goes for 2. Fuck.
Yeah. I think Arkansas might be the last easy game on Texas's schedule, but Arkansas ain't ass neither. So it's like potentially Texas being a dogfight for the rest of the year. Well, we thought that it was getting easier for them, but actually this Georgia loss might be the start of a fucking tumble because I seen that Kentucky defense got to be top 3 in the SEC. Got to be. Texas A&M ain't no hoes by no means. So I don't know, Billy. I don't know. That ass whooping will show you a lot about yourself. And what coaches in the SEC like to do is borrow those schemes because we might not have that specific athlete, but one thing that's for certain in the SEC got a lot of like athletes. So he ain't him, but he close to him. And I'm gonna try to do that same shit to you that they did. And if I don't get but 3 of them 8 sacks that they got, then that's a moral victory over there. So yeah. But speaking of victories, Alabama, what's happening, Billy?
You didn't want to ask me my thoughts on the only college game I watched.
My fault, Chris. And them your boys, bro. I know you hate talking about your teams losing on here because the Cowboys be my fault. Chris, what you thought, man? What you seen? Y'all ready for the league?
Obviously, I don't watch a ton of college football, so I just want to ask a couple of questions to start. Is Georgia's D-line elite? Because they looked pretty fucking elite.
Georgia's and that's the shit, Chris. Every year they realign on defense. So they just go and I don't think Kirby really give a fuck about offense aside from a running back. Like Carson Beck had and a tight end. Carson Beck had Brock Bowers. So the year before last, it was just like Drake May when he had the receivers the year before, so he looked great. Well, Carson Beck had Brock Bowers. Well, we see what he's doing in the league. He the best tight end, or he might be top 5 tight. He might be the best tight end in the league this year. Actually,
I think it's this year he might be the best tight end.
Yeah, he might be already, Chris. So it's like a fucking 6'7" man child playing tight end. Can't nobody guard that shit. It's like Grump, but stronger. Maybe
and then
faster.
Darnell Johnson too was a fucking stud tight end. He's at the Steelers now. He had a good couple of third down catches.
So that was really the only question I wanted to ask was how strong was their D line, and it sounds like they're one of the best in the nation.
Well, shit.
So
I mean, not to cut you out, but look what they produced for the Eagles. Jalen Carter and fucking what's the other one? The one that slapped Jalen Carter and told him he ain't gonna act like this in the league. Fuck. Sorry, John. Man, Chris, we'll get him. But both of them boys came from Georgia. So yeah. But go ahead.
So the main thing that I saw from this was it was sloppy as fuck. Like the whole first half was just it was an awful watch.
Did you stick around for the second half?
A little bit of it. I didn't stick around for the whole game. I turned off at some point in the second half. But the first half, like, if you're playing a team with an elite defensive line and you get down by 3 possessions before halftime, it doesn't matter how good your offense is. It's going to be damn near impossible to come back if the team you're playing has a high-level defense. And that, to me, was kind of the story of the game. Texas had 2 awful turnovers in the first half that gave Georgia short fields that they got touchdowns on both possessions. And from there, at that point, it was just game over because them boys can pin their ears back. They don't have to worry about gaps or anything like that because you're not going to run the ball when you're down 3 possessions and it's only 30 minutes left in the game. So, I mean, it wasn't too much Texas could do past that. Obviously, they got on the board, but, I mean, they didn't play complimentary football. They dug themselves into a hole that was way too big to get out of, and they ain't had the tools to even think about how to get out of it.
Now,
Jordan Davis is his name.
Jordan Davis. Jeez.
Yeah.
But Tonio, before we move on to the Bama thing, because I can't wait to get into that. Honestly, that's been my favorite topic for the whole show. But that call, and I don't even remember the call, the interception. Yep, now I do. When the fans of Texas started throwing shit on the field. Number one, that type of shit, you don't belong in the SEC for that. The SEC, the SEC is seeing bad calls, and that one wasn't even a bad call. It was the wrong call, not a bad call. Number two, when your head coach is telling you stop throwing shit on the field and you just ignore the fuck out of him and disrespect the shit out of him, throwing it on the field. Now, back to the call. This should never be a thing. Because the call was changed, that sets a precedent for every other team in college football. Hey, all you got to do to reverse this call, especially let's say it's a big one in the fourth where it's actually going to fucking matter. Now we're going to just change the call because we're scared we're going to have a fucking riot because y'all throw shit on the field. These refs got to do better. I will bash the shit out of this official, whatever official team it was. Bums.
That is
Bums.
That. You know how I knew that it was crazy, Billy? The announcers was like, I've never seen nothing like this. What are we doing here? And then right after that, they was like, well, it was the right call to make. So somebody called up there and was like, yeah, you got to go with him. And Billy, call or not, bro, this ain't NBA. Where you go and turn that shit over, bro. You made that call, we stick up. Because he was like, the dude was like, yeah, they made the call, but we're going to go with this because it could have went both ways. And then he was like, well, thanks for somebody having the guts to step up and say this was that. Well, no, you guys just got bullied bad into changing the call, and now the whole world is seeing it, and it's like you said, Sark out there like, and they just like,
fuck it.
Fuck you. You not seeing that, and I'm sorry. No, and I ain't shitting on Texas, Chris, by no imagination, but ain't nobody doing that shit
was
to
some
Kirby.
Childish ass fucking behavior. That was
if Nick's still in
ridiculous.
Alabama, them motherfuckers in Alabama wouldn't dare do that shit to Nick. We got some wild ass. I done seen some wild ass shit happen at Vaught Hemingway. Even with Lane, it don't even matter who. I ain't never seen shit fly across that field, goddamn. Because it's a lot of real sports fans. I think Texas A&M has kind of figured it out. Like, so they belong there now. But Chris, you gotta like, let's just say I was playing A&M. And they like, hey, we SEC fans now. We don't do that shit. And then the riots, you get your shit stolen off there. So it's the refs getting bullied into that call is nasty work. I think that's the nastiest shit I done seen in a long time from a refereeing group. Because, like, hey, you called it one way, and I get it, right? It's a big-ass game. Kind of need to keep Texas in this motherfucker, but that ain't even got to be the case that y'all doing it. But with y'all changing that call, now it looks like, hey, man, it's about the money. It's about the viewership. We got to make it a good game. Because if Georgia score right there, because let's just say for the sake of argument that they don't overturn that. Well, now Georgia's going to go down the field and score. Because not only did you lose a call, your momentum on defense, like, oh, we sticking. I got an interception. Oh, no, not for real. They ain't going to call that. Now you deflate it.
Yeah.
And when you deflate it, that's when Kirby just like to run the ball down your throat. But you change that shit on national TV in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And I like I said, going forward, now I'm gonna encourage my fan. I'm gonna have a pep rally. I'm gonna ask the fucking dean, hey bro, let me have a pep rally with just the students only. Hey man, y'all see a call y'all don't like, and I give y'all this signal, just start throwing all your bottles and shit on the field. We'll get it overturned. And now you kind of got to, Billy.
So let me. I will say, Texas did do the right thing, and those students in that site, it's called the big ticket. That's the student ticket thing that they do. Like it's kind of like Ticketmaster, but for the students, called the big ticket. They did get film of the fans, and they said your big ticket is revoked. So those students that did throw shit on the field, they are not welcome back to any Texas game the rest of the year. Now,
good. Fuck
me being the old man, I think it should have been forever. Like, hey, sucks to be you. But again, maybe they are college kids. Like, they're idiots. Like we were dumb at that age, I guess. I mean, I don't think we went. No, Antonio, you went to college, but Me and Chris didn't go, and I'm not dumb enough to do that shit. That's fucking crazy. But let's go. We can go into the Bama matchup now. Bama losing to Tennessee. Great game. Came down a little bit to the wire. But they got Mizzou this week. And Mizzou coming back to beat Auburn was pretty crazy. I don't think they have enough to beat Bama. And then, so let's talk about Bama for a little bit, Tony. I know you want to get into
it. So first of all, I want to say to everybody, calm the fuck down. It's 2 losses, and you're Alabama. You can still get in the playoffs, bro. I get it. I told you this would happen, Billy. I told you it would happen. Kalen DeBoer is people that's already calling for his head, like, hey, this ain't how we do it. But, bro, y'all just lost. Jalen Milroe looked ass out there. Yep. Chris texted like 4 times, like, is he playing the right sport? Like, he just airmailing this shit. And I'm just like, yeah, what are we doing? And I'm kind of pissed because he lost my part. I just need him to get 2 touchdowns. I would have won $500 off $3, but he didn't do that. But aside from that, like, they just didn't look good, Billy. I think Kalen got a lot of adjusting to do to being where he is. Yeah. Over there in the Pac-12, you got some weeks where you could take off and still win a game. Well, now I know you hate to hear me say it, but really, SEC still best conference in the country. Yeah. So every week, like he should have learned from fucking losing to Vandy. Like, it don't matter who you is, bro. We can beat you. We could try to potentially beat you. And he should have seen that with Vanderbilt would have lit a fire under Nick Saban's ass. And I think that's where the difference is. Oh, well, first of all, Nick Saban not losing to Vandy. I don't care how sorry it is. 11 players playing both sides of the ball. Nick Saban still beat Vandy by 7. And that's how confident I am in him. But I think Kalen, I don't think he's a sorry coach. I'm not going to shit on Jalen because aside from last week, every other game, even the Vandy game where he lost, he ain't great against Vandy. Yeah, he ain't been looking ass. He played amazing against Georgia. It's like, so it's just like Chris said, or both of y'all said, you're allowed to have one bad game. Now, did it come against at the wrong time? For sure. If for sure it came at the wrong time. But I don't think Bama fans should just be ready to write the board off or the team.
Who you gonna go get? Who you gonna get that's gonna do anything different? Not everybody's Nick fucking Saban.
Nah, you're not gonna get it.
That's my problem. In these Alabama fans, and especially I'm gonna quote these Alabama fans again, don't understand. The shit is hard, bro. Nick Saban also lost to Tennessee in Tennessee. Do we care? No. Oh, it's okay. Nick's gonna figure it out. Why not have the same trust and faith in this new coach? Hey, maybe he'll figure it out. Even give him that. Maybe he'll figure it out. It's hard. He's in a new recruiting area. He's literally coming from Washington to Tuscaloosa, dog. Like, it doesn't. We're acting like he was just supposed to come in, go undefeated, win a national championship, and fucking everything was going to be fine. Bama needs to chill the fuck out. We need a new defensive coordinator. And then let me talk about the call, Antonio, the last call, the 4th down call. I understand we talk about Ryan Williams, and we do say he's only 17. And I've said that on this show 100 times. You need to say that. I don't give a fuck. That motherfucker is 17 years old, doing more shit than you can interject yourself in here, but he's doing more shit than I could even think about doing at 17 years old. And he's doing amazing. That call, and this is where me and Chris are going to argue. I don't know if you've seen it. It was a screen pass, but you've seen Jalen Milroe go to the line and change.
You're talking about it was like 4th and 16 or some shit.
Yes, 4th and 17. Now, with the call, Chris, Antonio might know this a little bit better. You see 3 linebackers on one side and both safeties on the other side, right? You have one corner on Ryan Williams and you have one linebacker to guard that fucking running back. Jalen Milroe made the right call and Kalen DeBoer gave him the call. If this is what you see, this is what we're doing. And you saw it both times because Tennessee took a timeout. Jalen Milroe made the call, make a screen. Ryan Williams needs to hit that block. We go get a 1st down, and he probably would have scored a fucking touchdown. Antonio, correct me if I'm wrong. All he had to do, and Kirk Herbstreit said it the best, hit that block. Not Kirk Herbstreit, excuse me. Was it McElroy who was doing that one? Make that block, Ryan Williams, and he's going to go get at the very minimum a first down. That was the right call. And the fact that these Alabama fans are shitting it, I don't know if you've never watched football, if you don't understand how the shit works. You're not going to get it.
It really, for all the fans that don't get it, it really ain't a lot of plays where you can pull 16 yards out your ass. It's just, you got to get real creative. It ain't like, all right, everybody just go. It's done. It's definitely coverages, zones for that. It's everything. They're in the SEC. I gotta keep saying it. They're in the SEC also. Might not have Alabama caliber player, but they do got a couple 5-stars over there. So I'm sure they'll be able to catch you too. If he hit that block, Billy, they might score. They might not even get the first down. They might take it in. But yes. I'm gonna go back to defend him. He's 17. He was just in fucking algebra 2 last year. So it's like, hey, bro, I don't shit like that for this day and age, because I was listening to Prime. We'll talk about Prime in a minute. Shit like that in this day and age will make a kid transfer out. Because it's like, hey, bro, this fan base, man, I had one mistake, but I'm a top 3 receiver in the country. And I'm 17, dog. I could be getting ready for prom and shit like that. Senior day and all that shit. But I'm down here in Tuscaloosa
killing it.
Being amazing. Like, right, it ain't like he nobody that just like, oh, it's a gimmick. Nah, on the team. I'm really competing for best wide receiver in the country.
With another freshman, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy as fuck. So I just I told you, Billy, I really ain't gotta defend it because I told you what was gonna happen. Only person I ain't heard say nothing, shout out to Butler, is Butler. We lost. On to the next. And that's sometimes just how you gotta be. Aside from Chris, on the show, I feel like everybody know you can't win every fucking game. Chris wants you to be perfect. I get it.
This shit is hard. It's hard.
But that shit is going to the natty every year. That's hard. That's why when you see people do it, even if they don't win, bro, you just in natty. That ain't you had to go through a lot of roads to get to this natty, bro. So yeah. But yeah, let's
so you want to talk about real quick, we can cover the LSU A&M, both number 1 and number 2 in the SEC right now. LSU lost a game to USC. That loss looks way worse, but I do think, like I said, week 1 took a second to figure it out. A&M, same thing. Week 1 lost to Notre Dame. The SEC does a great job of, let's say, the lower tier SEC teams like an LSU and A&M, not a Georgia, Alabama, to go play scarier programs like a Notre Dame who could beat you, like a USC who could beat you, as opposed to playing these cupcake ones. But that's the top matchup this week, right?
I don't think. I think the SEC done got real good about that though. You know, Alabama, that year they played. I think Alabama ain't played nobody since they played Florida State, and they hurt their quarterback and just changed the trajectory of his life. I haven't heard of him since then. But they got better with scheduling like out of conference games. Hint to Matt's conference. Y'all probably should do that. Play some bigger people so we don't have to watch y'all just play each other and lose and shit.
Alabama, Michigan is scheduled for the next in like a year, I think. Not next year, but the year after.
Alabama gonna beat the fuck out of Michigan if Orgy's still there or any one of them quarterbacks still there.
We'll come next week. But you want to get into Prime?
I kind of shout out to Matt. Matt, fuck you and Michigan. Y'all lost to Illinois, and I had y'all beating them on my parlay, bro. So fuck y'all.
That was silly to you.
I just thought, like, hey, bro, y'all supposed to be in I guess the big 3 now since Oregon's there, but Michigan's supposed to be number 3, but it's looking like it's Penn State. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Matt might.
So you taking LSU?
Fuck LSU. I'm taking A&M.
Okay, Chris.
LSU, I guess.
It's hard for me because we got mine Antonio's bet and then my love for Brian Kelly. I'll probably take LSU right here. But Tony, you want to talk about Prime real quick?
I do, bro. I want to bring this up. I seen this. Shout out to this guy. Fuck, fuck. Where is it? Where is it? I can't do it. I pulled a picture up. Where is it? How you got a picture? Is it Brand?
Brand.
Not download this shit. I wanted to show this, Billy, which is real interesting. Shout out to Gucci. See you on Twitter. Billy, so right now, Shador leads college football in completions, top 4 in completion percentage, top 5 in passing yards in the country, top 5 in passing touchdowns, and 4 games with 300 plus yards. And Colorado artist has the same record as Alabama. But nobody's impressed. They're like, all right, well, you won one more than last year. Yay. But that's just what he did with. We talked about it, Billy. We talked about Prime and how he took over Jackson State, and they weren't that good the first year. But then the next year, they was like, oh, we're gonna hit the ground running. And they did. Yep. And I really think they should be 6-1. They let that Kansas State game get away from them. I don't think that's a game they should have lost. The defense just two blown coverages back to back. Yeah, that's nasty. But they did lose that one. They 5-2, but they still in the hunt for the Pac-12 championship, Billy. Like this ain't some. I mean, Big 12 championship. This ain't what we was talking about last year. We was talking about how they lost to Stanford after they was up and how they did that. And we done seen them come in. And this year, Prime. I wish I could have got the fucking clip where he said, "You better get me now, because I promise you, next year we coming." And they sitting at 5-2. They looking comfortable too. Like they beat the hell out of Arizona. And I ain't gonna say Arizona. Arizona's like good, but Arizona also. Damn,
some people were picking them to win the Big 12.
Exactly, bro. Fafita, that's his name. Is that his name? Fafita, the quarterback.
The receiver?
No, that's the quarterback. Fafita, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't want him and that receiver. That receiver, like a top 5 fucking receiver in the country too. Billy, he's really good. He didn't look good at all. Yeah, nope. he didn't look good at all against that that Colorado defense, and that's a testament to Prime. You get Paul Feinbaum, and you get Stephen A. You get Shannon talking about, well, if he goes on to win at least 3 more games, now we in Coach of the Year contention.
Yeah. And
you got to think, Billy, this is the first time this program been 5-2 since 2006. Yeah. That's a little insane. That's crazy as fuck. Like, you just got, how many years is that? That's 10, almost
18.
Almost 20 years, Billy. So you're telling me in 20 years we ain't got to 5-2? I don't know. I ain't gonna stick on Prime, but I do want to know about that clip I pulled up, and I'm gonna ask Chris. Chris, with numbers like that, why ain't Shador being mentioned with Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward when Dylan Gabriel and Cam Ward still in way better positions than Shador is when I talk about offensive line wise? You don't see Cam sit back there in that pocket for a little minute and comfortably let go of the ball. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel has been sacked over 5 times this year. Shador's sitting at 23. Still ain't as bad as last year, but 23 times is still a lot. Why isn't he being mentioned, Chris?
I really don't know. The only thing I can think about maybe is strength of schedule maybe got something to do with it. Are those other quarterbacks playing higher level competition than Shador is?
I mean, Cam Ward was in a dogfight with Virginia Tech. They not good. He's in a dogfight with who did they come back on the week before last? Fuck. She gonna make me mad.
Yeah. Damn it. because they could have lost both those games. Virginia Tech, that was the bad one. Fuck it. Sorry, John.
Yeah, I think I get that. You got the answer. We can't say because he Deion's son, and that was California. That was California, Billy. That's
right.
And they had a close one last week with Louisville. Louisville ain't,
Yeah.
I don't think the ACC is just that much ahead of the fucking.
But it was close with Louisville.
12.
But then Cam took it up to the next level, I think, and that's probably why he's there. But let me tell you why Shador's not up there. Number one, these quarterbacks that you're mentioning, Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, you can look at some other quarterbacks. They don't have Travis Hunter. That's number one. Who Travis Hunter is, I think, fourth, right, in the Heisman odds. And then to second it, and this is something we kind of hinted at, Shador's not athletic.
Yeah, but I wanted to say something about that, Billy.
Yeah.
Shador not athletic at all, but he's mobile. So that he's mobile. He avoids and he extends plays. I'm stuttering. I'm drunk. He extends plays a lot, Billy. And you can't tell me you ain't seen him extend plays with his legs.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
So he's not athletic, but his pocket awareness is through the roof.
Right.
So that means something. That means something.
For an award like the Heisman, you do need some running stats, or you need to just blow it up like Joe Burrow did with fucking 60 touchdowns. Like I'm not saying Shador is ass. I'm just saying I think too, Antonio, and we've covered close issues like this on this show a bunch of times. I think because Shador is a black quarterback, I think the fact that he has zero rushing, you're not scared of him rushing the ball. You're not. You are worried about him extending plays. Now, you're not scared of him running for 60 yards on you at any given moment. Whereas like a Cam Ward can bust down a 30-yard run real quick and then walk to the fucking out-of-bounds line. Shit like that, where Shador does wait for the throw, and he does the more Patrick Mahomes style, and this is where we got into it a little bit, where he runs and just stakes the ball out. All right, let me get that 1 yard with this one reach out real quick. And I think that might be looked at differently than a lot of these other Heisman guys.
So you saying because he ain't running that hoe, then he should be
fault. Because he's very.
And I also want to say that he's really good at spreading the ball around. I don't think Travis has had nearly as many targets in the last 2 weeks to nurse himself as LaJohntay Western and Jimmy Horn and Omarion Miller, who went off for 200 yards or almost 200 yards against Kansas State. So he's really you could say that I got fucking Travis Hunter, but it ain't like these people too stupid to double him, so they not doubling him. So it's like a lot of one-on-one matchups. But I get it. He only got 2 rushing touchdowns on the season, so they ain't really trying to see that. So yeah. And even if he was running that hoe, the sack's gonna take away from whatever he did. Because he got the longest he on rush for this year is 17 yards, but his average is 19 yards. And I guess one season in Jackson State, he had a sprinkle where he was running that hoe because he had 85 carries for like 173 yards, 6 touchdowns, and his longest was like a 42-yard run. But I don't think that's his game. I think after you train, if you train with Brady and the most immobile quarterback ever,
I'd say he's more mobile than Peyton.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Let's get into the this quick NBA topic. I know I fought you on it. I was mainly kidding a little bit for it, but LeBron and Bronny got on the court at the same time to a standing ovation. Everyone was excited about it. I watched the game. I know you watched the game. I was doing my real estate class, but I definitely stopped to turn around real quick when Bronny got in just to see how it looked. And Bronny didn't look that bad, Tonio, did he?
He only took 2 shots, but I want to say that where everybody's just wanting him to be a scorer, his defense is going to take precedence. He's going to be more of a Drew Holiday type player. It was one sequence where I text you about that I watched, and he got matched up on Ant, and I was like, man, either it's going to be really, really bad or it's going to be really, really good. And for Bronny, he just strapped up and contested the shot, and Ant missed. And people can be like, that was just a lucky miss. But then Ant went down on the other end of the floor and just started lighting it up. No Bronny on him. So I don't know.
Lakers won, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. Lakers won. Shout out to because we'll get on basketball. I ain't trying to do that, but having Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. in the stadium, that was dope so cool. As fuck.
Yeah,
that was dope as fuck. The only father-son duo to do sports together first, to be there with the second ones to do it. That's dope as hell. I don't foresee this happening again unless LeBron gets some vibranium. What that shit was from Wakanda, Black Panther? Is it vibranium?
I don't know.
Vibranium put in him, and then just wait on Bryce to get there, and then it'll be dope again. Because now you got Bryce running. That'd be so cool. Yeah, it's just on. Yeah, that shit's hard.
No, but Bryce will go at like the third pick, so I don't think that'll happen for the Lakers. But I just want to throw this stat up here. Even Chris can appreciate this one. Look at the fucking diff. Like, that is so crazy. LeBron's games and minutes compared to Bronny's in that first half. I see that on the halftime show. Also, TNT, hopefully this is the last time y'all do a live show because I need y'all in the studio. That shit was ass. Didn't fuck with none of that. All those Knicks fans don't give a fuck. Stop doing that. Go back to the studio. That's where we need to be.
And why was the Knicks Celtics to open the game? That shit wasn't close from the first 3 minutes of the game.
You and I, we said the Timberwolves won that trade by a lot, and I think people thinking the Knicks won are idiots. But we can't get into too much basketball here. We said we keep it quick.
You, Chris. I don't think you're an idiot, Chris. Billy's an asshole.
Chris is an idiot sometimes, man.
I don't recall saying they won the trade. I just questioned like what they got out of it.
You said it. It's tape out there. You said, I think you said it.
I feel like it was a loss for both teams.
They got. I ain't gonna lie, Billy. DiVincenzo was the only win from that trade though, because Julius Randle looked like shit.
It'll take him a second. It'll take him a second. Now,
he looked like shit.
Let's go from one sport that we don't care about to the next one, at least yet. World Series is the highest two payrolls in baseball. Shocker. The Dodgers and Yankees. Chris, who's going to win the World Series?
I think the way that the Dodgers have been playing this postseason with their main weakness was their pitching all year because they had I don't know how many different sets of rotations they had. They probably had like 15, 20 different starting pitchers log meaningful innings this year. And they're pitching lights out come this postseason. So it's hard for me to look at a team that already had elite offensive players at damn near every position on the diamond. And then you take their biggest weakness being their pitching, and it's been lights out this postseason. Like, it's hard for me to see the Yankees being able to stop that. Aaron Judge is doing his typical postseason Aaron Judge, which is not shit. Giancarlo Stanton is doing his typical postseason Giancarlo Stanton, which is carrying the offense.
Yeah.
And then Juan Soto is
winning the games for you.
Just being clutch when you need to be clutch. So, I mean, if Judge comes alive and he has like a 6 home run series, then sure, the Yankees can make it interesting. But I think they're just outgunned and undermanned.
So let me also raise you before the Rangers won the World Series. Chris said we wouldn't even make it to the playoffs, so I just want to give the fans that. So the Yankees are winning the World Series. I needed Chris to tell me who he's going to win. I was just going to go the opposite of what Chris said because I don't think he knows winning baseball because he's looked at losing baseball for so long. Tonio, who you
I haven't looked at losing baseball because I've been on fucking Bally and you can't watch Bally. The last time I was able to watch the Rangers every fucking game of the year, they were winning. They were going to World Series. All right.
Has Bally been there that long? Good Lord. I didn't know it was
came
that
in,
long.
I think, in like 2014 or some shit.
Ugh.
But I believe it's like officially done for the most part after this year. So
yeah, thank God.
Hopefully they can find a regional broadcasting home we can watch them.
I am going Dodgers, bro, and I don't know why, but I'm aside from the disease he fake got, bro. I just like Magic Johnson, bro. His voice funny. Shout out to Savvy Amazing on IG, but he do like a funny ass Magic Johnson voice, and it sound like dead on, bro. So whatever team Magic Johnson affiliated with, just like I told y'all about Washington. I said, hey, anybody Magic Johnson affiliated with, you gonna make them some winners.
Yeah.
So I'm going for the Dodgers. I just think it's gonna be the two richest motherfuckers. They just gonna be out there like, oh, broke a nail. Hey, fuck this. We gotta call the game. It's gonna be exciting though. It's good for baseball, bro. I think it's good for the brand of baseball. Two richest motherfuckers with probably the best networking deals out there finna be on TV playing baseball. And these little motherfuckers from Japan and where else? Mexico and all that shit when they in the little leagues, like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna play for when I get over here. So that's kind of dope. So yeah, I'm gonna go Dodgers.
All right, 2 Dodgers and the Yankees. All right. I got a trivia real quick. I know Chris has one. Let me run mine. Or no, Chris, yours is about baseball, right?
Sure.
Okay, let's run yours real quick.
So while we're on the topic of the Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series, this is the Yankees' first World Series appearance in 15 years, their last one being in 2009. Can either one of y'all name the starting lineup for the 2009 World Series Yankees?
Jeter, A-Rod. That one's easy.
Short and
Robert
third.
Cicino.
Second.
Mark Teixeira.
First.
Andy Pettitte was a pitcher.
Yeah, he was one of them.
Jacob, center fielder. Fuck.
CC Sabathia.
He was there.
Sabathia was on that team, yep.
Ellsbury. Jacoby Ellsbury was a center field?
Nope.
Fuck.
Some more weird name. Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Of course.
The outfield was going to fuck me up, Chris. Oh, Jorge Posada.
Posada was the catcher, yeah. Ellsbury didn't come until later. He did play for the Yankees just.
Curtis Granderson?
No, Grandy was not there.
Fuck, who was the white center fielder? Brett Gardner.
He was there, but he was a bench player. He wasn't.
Brett Tomko.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh, Bobby Abreu?
Abreu, I believe, was retired at this point.
Oh, shit. I thought he went from Philly to New York.
He did, but that was in, I think, 06.
Chris, you got to get...
He wasn't retired. Where did he go?
Alfonso didn't play for the Yankees.
Oh, he left after 08.
Okay.
He was with it. That's right. He went to the Angels. Another one of their players that they gave a massive contract to that didn't do shit for him.
Give me a hint on this.
Nick Swisher.
Nick Swisher
was the right fielder. Yep.
There you go. Hell yeah, Antonio.
So you said Ellsbury. One of the outfielders was a Boston longtime outfielder that went to New York.
Not Damon.
Damon was there, yep.
Oh, fuck. Now we're just missing the left fielder?
You're missing the center fielder.
Did Damon play right or Damon played left?
Yeah, Damon was a left fielder. He had no arm. You're missing the center fielder and the DH.
Freddie Guzman.
Nah, he played for the White
That
Sox.
name sounds familiar, but that was a backup. I don't think Guzman was ever a starter anywhere. Tonio looked like he's trying to look up players.
I'm not, bro. My
World
hand's
Series
right here,
champion.
The center fielder was without looking it up, so this may not be particularly right. It's just as my memory recalls. He was one of the highest players in batting average one year and then got popped for PEDs and suspended.
Melky Cabrera?
Bingo. So who's the DH?
The DH?
Longtime Yankee.
Giambi?
No, Giambi was gone by this point.
All right, yeah, that's what I was like.
Is this guy Asian?
Yeah.
Hideki Matsui.
Godzilla. That's right.
He's a gangster. Hell yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. What a time. Ugh.
Billy, do you have more baseball trivia or is it something different?
No, this one's football.
Thank God.
No, Chris, that was awesome. Yes, that was
good. I got 3 people, so I'm happy.
Yeah, there you go. I thought you were going to do the Phillies.
You named a bench player that nobody ever heard of either, so that was good too. What did he say?
Right.
Jose Guzman, I think was what he said.
Yeah. My fault.
That's funny.
Was he? I thought he was a pitcher for the Braves for a second.
No, he was the very last guy on their bench. That's why I didn't see him right away.
Oh no shit. Okay.
I was looking down. He was the bottom of the games played for position players.
All right. So last week I think I did. It was the draft picks from now all the way to like 2010, I think. But
that was like 2010 to 2000.
That's what I did. So 2000 to 2010. Name me the NFL's leading rushers.
Sean Alexander was 07, I believe.
No.
He's on that list because he won an MVP. Was it 06?
Chris Johnson's on the list, for sure.
Okay, so all right. So what is if you name the player? I'll give you the guys of the year. So Sean Alexander was 05.
CJ was 09.
Chris Johnson, 09.
Yeah, 09.
Yeah. Was Corey Dillon on there with the early Patriots?
Nope.
What about Freddie T?
Nope. These are all big names. These are all like they're a little more easy.
Priest Holmes. I know LaDainian Tomlinson's got to be on there.
LT's on there twice, 07 and 06.
So what years are we missing?
Twice. Oh, no, not twice. Excuse me.
What years are we missing?
2000, 2002, 2003, 4, and 8 and 10.
10 that atheist motherfucker.
Yep.
Bro,
he was on
Houston motherfucker.
Remember he talked about
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Arian Foster.
Come on, Chris. Arian Foster. I want to say it was easy in the 2000s to rush, like right at 2000. So I feel like
Marshall Faulk on there for the early 2000s.
Nope.
I didn't think he would be. He was more of a
the Colts had like a young Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James used to tote that bit.
Edge was on there as a leading rusher.
Yeah,
bro.
His name was in my head for a minute. I didn't think he was running that much. God damn.
2000, shit. I think that offensive line
and Edgerrin James in '99 was the leading rusher. Also,
is Priest Holmes on the list?
We already said Priest Holmes.
2002, 2003, 2004. Who the fuck was playing back? Larry Johnson with the Chiefs. He had 1 year.
Nope.
No, fuck.
Damn, the Chiefs had another fucking running back.
It was LJ. He led the league in carries like 3 straight years and then fell apart. Clinton Portis.
Nope. You're missing so the 04 guy is that Hall of Fame bridge guy.
It was a motherfucker.
Frank Gore?
Nah, bro. Dude was a crackhead, but he could run. Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams, 02. He's a pothead. He never smoked crack. Take it easy.
Oh, yeah, pothead. My fault. Hey, bro. Hey, when you young, bro, your granddad passed and called it.
That's a dope head.
Yeah, that's a dope head, bro. That's a shout out to Michael Moore, goddamn it.
I don't think Deuce McAllister would be on there. Ronnie Brown's probably not on there.
Nope.
Thomas Jones, I doubt would be on there.
Who we missing?
Oh, Willis McGahee.
Nope. 03.
Who the? I know who the. I can't think of his fucking name.
Not Ray Lewis.
Jamal Lewis.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's 03.
The motherfucker from the Jets.
The Ravens. Oh, the Jets. Who played?
That's who.
Jamal Lewis played for the Ravens and the Browns. But this.
I know who you're talking about. The Jets too.
Because he also played for Antonio's team.
Curtis Martin?
Yep, 04.
That's it. Fuck.
You're only missing 08.
Adrian Peterson.
Peterson.
I was about to go over that draft class. I remember that one because the NFL head coach.
I thought Chris said AP early on.
No.
Oh, did I miss it? LT? Maybe it was like the.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't say AP.
That was it?
Curtis Martin.
Yeah, this motherfucker's a Hall of Famer. That was my bridge Hall of Fame guy.
Is he actually in or is he?
No, he's in.
Oh, okay.
That was actually quite interesting, because thinking back when I
Where's
first
Larry
started.
Johnson on there?
When I first started watching like football like that,
yeah,
I remember seeing Edgerrin James' name, like a lot of Edgerrin James jerseys, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I didn't know he was leading.
Why are you worried about this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't know he was leading the league in rush back-to-back years, goddamn it. Like,
yeah.
And Sean Alexander didn't do that shit once.
Bro, in 2005, Larry Johnson had over 1,700 rushing yards, and this motherfucker ain't lead the league in rushing neither year.
That was Sean year?
Yeah.
Bro,
but the 07 year,
he had like 1,900 yards or something like that.
Yeah, the 07 year was when he got on cover of Madden. LT was just that much better.
Yeah,
and he didn't want the cover. Remember the Pivot podcast where he was like, I didn't want to fucking do that. He was like, they was trying to bring me in. You don't remember LT saying that on Pivot?
Bro, Larry Johnson was third in 2005. Sean Alexander had 1880. Tiki had 1860. LJ had 1750.
Fuck, I forgot about Tiki.
What about 06? LJ led in carries by a fucking mile, but LT had him in yardage by, what was that, 26 yards? He also had 28 touchdowns that year. I remember that year. Yeah.
I'm still shook off this Adrian James shit, bro.
Yeah. Peyton was throwing those picks. They were like, all right, take it easy, young fella.
Going back, it's hard for me to remember because I picture like Edge to me. Maybe it's just because I'm old now and it don't seem that long ago. But I'm picturing Edge with the Colts for like that whole decade. And I think he went to Arizona in like 04. Now that I'm thinking about it, or 06 or some shit.
So think about CJ.
I guess that would make sense.
15 years ago. What the fuck? We're just old.
Right, but that's some of the greatest displays of running I've ever. Fastest display of running, because he's probably the fastest running back on this list by far.
CJ, that was listed. Yeah. Priest was slow as fuck. LT was faster in San Diego, and then
Priest
he
was
got
like
slow and just ran.
Le'Veon Bell type, where he like, I'm just gonna find this hole and run 50 yards, no problem.
Felt like he had super high, like he could get up to top speed real quick, but his top speed wasn't that top.
Ricky Williams might have been fast as fuck. I think so.
Ricky Williams was fast as fuck. Yeah,
he was pretty fast, but he would also
he was a dope head. So that's so funny, bro. That's so funny,
dude. When you said, I ain't heard that since my dad said that I was like 9 years old. You talking about that dude that's on dope? That he's just smoking weed. He's fine.
Y'all messing with that dope. Hey, what the fuck is that? Hey man, we gotta get out of here, man. We'll keep y'all for an hour 40, man. Right. Appreciate y'all, man.
Look for the changes for Instagram. The TikTok reels are about to come out soon. We're gonna drop some daily content on Brick Shots U, if y'all made it all the way to the end. We appreciate it.
Peace.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Brick shots with Billy Antonio.